Hey, Gil, how are you? It is my distinct pleasure to be here with Gil Magno, the author of, can I have that book, Gil? Developing Confidence and Personal Magnetism. This wonderful book, and this book as well, The Road to Victory. So, Gil, can you tell me a little bit about how people start with this book? What is the course that goes along with it that you teach? You're a personal coach. You can do this book alone, correct?
Yeah, anyone can do this book by himself. However, this book is the textbook for a course which I created called course number 5, the famous course number 5, or infamous. Called Self-Transformation Through Personal Magnetism. And it's geared at a full transformation. So that's the textbook that goes with it. Now this one, The Road to Victory, is the textbook for the continuation of Course 5, which is Course 5A, In Tune with Self Through Spiritual Science. That's a pretty heavy course and very, very interesting.
Well, I know I can vouch for that because I'm a student of both and completed both, and that's why I want to
help.
You're
my best student in Miami.
Thank you. That's why I want to tell people about it, because it has made such a difference in my life, and I know that it has in many of all of your students that have taken it. You have tremendous testimonials from people all over the world that you've helped.
Yeah.
Why do you think what is the difference between this and other courses that are out there? Why is yours so special?
The difference between this and this, or this and the courses out there?
What makes these different for this?
Oh, okay, all right. First, you don't have to spend hours practicing this stuff. In personal magnetism, we have a system where you are practicing, but you are turning that activity into a habit. So it doesn't take time installing something as a habit. If I tell someone, well, the reason why you're not sounding well when singing is that your throat is not open. So he proceeds to open the throat a little bit every time he practices, and it turns into a habit.
So it's really a different way of looking at things.
Yeah,
and being aware.
Right. And
it changes your outlook, I think.
Yes, and more than that, it goes into areas that I myself sometimes can't understand. When I started working on this and this, excuse me, the techniques, especially using the voice, because the voice is the crystallization of thought. When I saw that, something happened. And I got these people to just speak and talk in a certain way as themselves, not as to entertain the audience. You don't shake hands. That's the difference between other courses. Is in other courses they tell you things that are everyday things that everybody knows. Oh, you gotta be in good posture, smile, and this and that's immaterial stuff. Of course, we all know that you have to smile.
It doesn't change the way you feel inside.
Right.
So it's like a false persona.
Yes, this develops your real person. And that's where the secret lies. If you were to eliminate, and now I'm talking about this course 5, the course 5, course 5A. If you were to eliminate all the negativity that has come into us through the genes and through the aberrations of childhood and living in this particular civilization. If we could just eliminate that negative stuff and do nothing about the positive stuff would be there. Because spiritually, you are totally good.
So can you give me an example of what you mean by an aberration from childhood? Like, let's say a child gets reprimanded for not cleaning up the room, or pushing another child down.
Yeah. Well,
Which is,
that example you gave is not strong enough to become a real aberration. But there are more dangerous aberrations. For example, I don't want to go into the lies because every time I do I get in trouble. Things that we were told in childhood, I know I did because I was brought up in another country. And my father, of course, he was a great man and he kept my head straight. But, we heard things, religious things and the devil and all kinds of things like that, just to give you an idea. And all of that becomes part of you, these aberrations. Even when you fall and hurt yourself, that becomes recorded in the subconscious, and you have to eliminate all that stuff in order to achieve spiritual freedom. And there are different techniques to eliminate that stuff. That's part of the thing. Now, I try to eliminate those problems in Course 5 using this book, because when you go into 5A, you're already out in Club 9 out there.
And part of what you use for Course 5 is, I know, EFT, or emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping.
Yeah, I use regressions too, but it takes too long. EFT is so simple and it goes right to the point. Now, sometimes we can't find something, so I use regressions, but be careful, I don't hypnotize. I don't believe in hypnotism, and I don't think anyone should be hypnotized. But the word hypnosis doesn't mean what it really is nowadays. People, if I ask you to close your eyes and go back to the time when you had breakfast this morning, that's not hypnosis. But that's what they call hypnosis. So you've got to know all these differences, because the world right now is full of lies. All kinds of lies. Even in this area of self-improvement. Even in the spiritual area.
Well, I know one thing I really admire about you is that you say, don't believe me. Just, test everything for yourself.
Yes. One of my mentors is Krishnamurti. And he said that. I'm not saying it because he said it, because he was the first one to say, don't do or say anything because I say it. And that's always been with me anyway, but I'm happy that he did it, that he said that, because I tell all my students. In fact, it's in the material in there. It says, don't believe anything I say. Read it, think about it, look at it, try it, and see if it's true for you. And if it's true, you'll know it. And how do you differentiate between truth and lies? Very simple. You don't have to have scientific courses and all that. Truth is anything that works for you. That's it.
That makes it simple.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, because nowadays there's so much information, and people don't know, or they just hear something and say, oh, that must be true. And I think that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
So I think that's helped me a lot, remembering to having, and just the exercises that we've done. It really strengthens you to know who you are, and know how to deal with society, and to not be influenced.